Look at that, raise to the roof. I'm so excited to be here, aren't you? Can you just be patient? We're about to go into contest land. And this contest, like all of the contests that I know, are exciting. And we were wondering who's going to win, who's going to win. So get your ballots ready. And we're going to go first into the evaluation contest. You excited? Hey, of course we're excited. All right, so we are going to start in a few minutes, but first we need to listen to a test speaker. And I want to just welcome everybody from Toastmasters and guests from around the world to cheer on our contestants. We ask that you all remain muted. In addition, we ask that all of our audience members turn off their camera. So these are some of the things that set us up for success. So with the competition, it will begin. It's the first one we've had where it's across undistricted clubs. So this is a very exciting day for us. And today we get to listen to the best of the best. When a contestant is speaking, all other contestants will remain in the breakout room. Once a contestant has spoken, they may stay in this room listening to the other contestants that come on after them. We will observe a minute of silence between contestants. Copying, streaming, and reproducing this contest is not permitted. Again, we will have the recordings available for you for free, but do not record it through your own mediums. Please keep in mind that each of the contestants will select their own way to respond to the evaluation portion. Some of the content may be personal in nature and contain language, ideas, or beliefs that some audiences may consider sensitive. So just be aware that that may happen, and we just want to be cognizant that we still support them in their journey. The chief judge for this contest is Lukas Calafell. Lukas, chief judge, are we ready to proceed?
Thank you, Carol, and yes, we are. Today, we will listen to a test speech of 5 to 7 minutes. For our timer number 1, you will give the green light at 5 minutes, the yellow light at 6 minutes, and the red light at 7 minutes. You will not give any notice if the speaker has gone over time. Contestants may make notes during the test speech. At the conclusion of the test speech, contestants will be taken to a separate breakout room with the sergeant at arms, where they will have exactly 5 minutes to prepare their evaluation. At the end of 5 minutes, all writing must end. Contestants' hands will be visible while in the breakout room. Contestants will be called back into the contest room one by one. Once contestants return to the contest room, they may revisit their notes. The evaluation speech timing is 2 to 3 minutes. Contestants will be disqualified if they speak less than 1 minute and 30 seconds or more than 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The timing lights will be activated as follows. Timer number 1, can you show us the green light? Hina, can you show, okay, green light. So green light will be at 2 minutes. The yellow light at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the red light at 3 minutes. The red light will remain on until the speaker has finished speaking. No verbal or visual notice will be given to the speaker should they go over time. Timing will begin with the first word uttered or when the speaker uses any form of communication to the audience. As Carol mentioned, there will be 1 minute of silence between speakers so that the judges may complete their ballots. Judges have been instructed not to consider time in their ranking of the speakers. All judges have been briefed and are qualified to judge this contest. There is a secret tiebreaker judge known only to me, the chief judge. Protests may be entered only by the contestants or judges of this contest to me, the chief judge, or the contest chair. Once results have been announced, all decisions are final. I'd like to hand the floor back to our contest chair, Carol Prahinski.
Woohoo! Thank you, Chief Judge. All right, so what is the purpose of an evaluation contest? Well, for the contestants, they're trying to improve their process and delivery of providing feedback to a specific person. In this case, it'll be our test speaker. For the test speaker, the feedback is a powerful way to quickly hear guidance to polish our skills and get stronger and better fast. And for the rest of us, why do we want to pay attention? Well, we learn by listening to the feedback provided and encouragement provided to the speaker from these various evaluators. And we're going to learn about strengths and opportunities and what we thought needed to be improved versus what we didn't hear them say. All right. And so sometimes it's the difference that allows us to gain another perspective. So using random.org, we determined the speaking sequence. The speaking order will be number 1, Deepa, then Kat. Can we have the slide showing the speaking order, please? Number 2, Shivani Bhativa. Number 3, Annie Bai. Number 4, Roshan Nutu. Number 5, Ilda Kulaba. Number 6, Valerie Bartley. Number 7, Andrei Smolenko. Number 8, Doris Tuckett. Number 9, Andrew Bennett. Number 10, Louis Brown. Number 11, Christian Ramchern. Thank you. After the test speaker has spoken, the contestants will move into another room, as mentioned by our chief judge. They will have 5 minutes to collect and organize their thoughts, and then they have to keep their hands up. After 5 minutes, we will call the first contestant into the room, and the contestant, a future contestant, is allowed to stay in the room, but cannot, oh, I said that backwards. Let me start again. All right. We will call each contestant into the room one at a time. The first contestant is allowed to stay in the room after they have spoken, but they're not allowed to come into the room before they've spoken, of course. All right, now, you ready for our test speaker? Our test speaker is a person that I hope to see a lot more of in my future. I'm very excited. For years, our speaker had trouble finding the right balance towards good health. After being frustrated with various methods that failed, he discovered a plan and a system that worked and achieved astounding results. With his speech titled, "A Journey to Taking Charge of My Health," please welcome Darryl Brown.
It was a Tuesday, and I received my medical results, which were triggered as a result of my blood pressure being elevated and led to a cause of concern. When I received those test results, my blood sugar was high, my cholesterol was high, and if I left those medical conditions unchecked, it would lead to being a health crisis waiting to happen down the road. In this particular situation, I thought about my health, and how many of you have had the kind of mother who says, "Well, you really need to take better care of yourself"? And I know I have. And I'm sure maybe some of you have as well. And in thinking about that, I said, yeah, I know. I need to take better care of myself. And so in thinking about what she had always told me and what I knew I needed to do, After receiving those test results, I knew that that one day came. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, have you ever received a report, a medical report that you felt would be a cause of alarm? This was the situation I found myself in when I received that report. I knew that I needed a plan, a strategy that would help me to embark on a journey to take control of my health. And I had tried various methods in the past to attempt to lose weight, to exercise. I tried various diets that would hopefully help me to jumpstart my way toward that journey. Unfortunately, many of the fad diets I tried ended in failure. Many of the exercise regimens ended in failure. And many of those plans, I found myself frustrated because I knew what I needed to do to take control, but I could not find that right balance to get me there. Until one day, I discovered this plan, a 51-day body and balance wellness and weight management program that I decided to give a try because I figured I tried everything else. Maybe perhaps this would work differently than the results I've received in the past. And I discovered something about this that was different from what I tried before. One of the things that I realized from my previous failures was that I did not know what my body needed in order for me to achieve the results I was seeking toward better health. When I started this program, they measured 4 areas: body mass index, body fat, hydration levels, and also visceral fat as well. When I weighed in at 279. I was considered obese. I was already on medication for cholesterol. So I was in trouble. I was not at the optimal weight I used to be back when I was on active duty in the military. When I was in top form, my cholesterol had left me about 23 years ago. So I had, when I started this journey, my cholesterol, not my cholesterol, but my metabolism was equivalent to a 63-year-old man. I am 53-year-old. I'm a 53-year-old man. So imagine that. So I knew that I had to shift gears, go a different direction in order for my health to get to where it needed to be. It required a lifestyle change. And when I started this program, I knew that I had to change my eating habits. I had to change how I viewed food, how my lifestyle was. I was a habitual eater. I wasn't one who overate. Many times I would starve myself on some days because I was so busy with work and everyday life. But this particular plan changed my life. And the reason why I did so was because after the first couple of weeks, my body endured a reset. Aches and pains, hunger challenges were a reality. But I knew that if I kept my eye on the goal, it will achieve results. 51 days later, I lost 45 pounds. So I went from 279 to now I'm in the 230s. My metabolism returned after a 23-year absence. Now it's more toward a 41-year-old and dropping toward hopefully my old military years when my metabolism was dynamite. Also, my blood sugar is normal for the first time in years. My cholesterol is normal for the first time in years. In every aspect, when I received the results, the new results, I knew that I was on track to being not only in control of my health, but in full command of my health. I am now healthy for the first time in many, many years. I'm 53 years old, but I feel that I am years and years younger. And for you, if you wanted to achieve similar results for your life to change as well, number one, you need a plan. And when you have a plan, do not go it alone. Seek medical professionals like I did to help you to track progress and maintain accountability. And also, most importantly, know what your body needs and the nutrients it needs in order for you to achieve the results you're looking for. Because everybody's body is unique. And the diet plans, exercise, a one-size-fits-all does not work for you if you're seeking results. I found what worked for me to enable me to achieve the results because I understood my body's unique needs. And it absolutely changed my life and will continue to. Now, because of this, I have a lease on life, and for the next 10 years, I am low risk for any of those silent killers. Take your journey today as well. Find your body in balance and see your life change as mine has changed regardless of your age. Toastmaster.
Woohoo! Take charge of your health. Thank you, Daryl Brown. Wonderful, wonderful. And so with this, we will have our evaluators, our contestants, head off into the breakout room. And we're just going to wait a second while they take off and go to their breakout rooms. And I'll get confirmation soon that they're gone. I think they're still here. Zoom masters. How are we doing?
We'll let you know when they moved.
Okay, very good.
Moving at present.
All right, thank you. Hard at work behind the scenes. You don't get the glory, but we're cheering for you. We're ready, I think.
Yes, can confirm all the evaluation contestants are now in the breakout room, Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you so much. Woohoo! Behind the scenes, Zoom masters. Love it. All right, Daryl, you're up. Now, for the questions that did not get answered in your speech, I'm going to go and ask them. So with our, Daryl, you ready? Our people listening online, most of them perhaps haven't met you before. So I would like to first...
Contest Chair, my apologies. We're just bringing Daryl back from a different room.
Oh, you put him into a room? Thank you. That explains why he's not responding.
No, he just needed to wash his hands for a minute to be ready for you. And so just give us a minute.
So we can shake hands again. I look forward to that day.
Thank you. And Sergeant at Arms is going to be moved into the other room as well. Great. So in the meantime, Carol, how was that for you in terms of smoothness of delivery? For
Daryl's speech?
Yeah.
I want more animation. Come on, Daryl, liven it up.
Well,
I also, what?
no, you're going to have a chance to speak to him any second,
All
as soon
right.
as he comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, just bear with me one moment, please.
You need more time? I believe I saw our backup test speaker here as well.
In the meantime, Carol, you can interview anybody else if you want, or introduce that. You know, Linda Marie was telling us that singing to bring out, you know, your inner, get rid of your fears and things like that while they're bringing back our test speaker.
Wonderful. Well, you just touched on a topic close to my heart, singing. Have you ever tried something new and flopped miserably? I loved to sing, but I was really, really bad at it for many years. Even my sister would say, shh, in church, like she didn't want me to sing in church. And then what happened? Well, I signed up because I liked it so much. I signed up to be in the choir. And the people in the church choir, they moved down to the other end of the table because I was so bad. They didn't want to stand next to me because I would throw them off key. Oh boy. But then I said, I'd like to take lessons. And the pianist, the organist was also a pianist. And she said, I'm happy to teach you. So she had me come over for weekly lessons, and I actually learned how to sing. And it was so earth-shattering to break through an emotional barrier that all of my life I thought Prahinskis can't sing. And I found out after I started taking my lessons that I had a 3-octave range. And I haven't been practicing in a few years, so you're not going to hear that. And just thinking about it, my voice is going raw. But anyway, I think I learned a lot. And so it's just sign up, break through the barriers. And I think our test speaker, Daryl Brown, is back. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
I am in.
Awesome, Daryl.
Present and accounted for.
So how do you think you did? That was the question somebody asked me. It's how do you think Daryl did? And I'm like,
Well, I believe I will find out from what looks like we have about 15 contestants.
11 of them. You're gonna
11. Okay.
Yeah, but it's always good to evaluate yourself too. We tend to be our harshest critic, and I think sometimes it's helpful to listen to the evaluators because they also point out the positive things that we did well.
Yes,
So,
I enjoy telling my story. So this is something that's very meaningful to me. So as far as I'm concerned and my story and the results I've received, I think I did very well.
awesome. I wanted to see a little bit more vibrancy from you because I know you can be vibrant, knocking off the roof off the building.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes,
I know.
indeed.
All right. So this is a topic that's near and dear to your heart, but there's a couple other topics that I know are near and dear to your heart. One of them is dealing with voting. And you were pretty active this fall trying to register people to vote. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I had given a presentation with regards to the importance of voting. And also I shared my personal story of why I have been an active voter for over 35 years. Big reason why is because of all of the sacrifices made to give me that right to vote through the civil rights movement. And many of those sacrifices took place even before I was born. I was born in 1967, so I was born right in the thick of everything that was going on. And each time I vote, I feel that I honor those who were beaten, who were abused, hurt, even threatened of death and many who have died to give me that right. So each time I do it, I know that it's important to ensure that I encourage others to actively participate in the voting process. I have a particular presentation called VOTE, and I talk about 4 specific reasons why all Americans, all citizens should actively participate in the voting process here in the United States.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so I also know that you are active in Toastmasters leadership. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what you're doing right now? Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I have been active in Toastmasters for well over 15 years. How I encountered Toastmasters or heard of Toastmasters was for the first time was through a speech communication class 10 years prior to me actually joining. When I joined Toastmasters, it was during a time when I was serving when I was active in law enforcement. I was the first public affairs officer in the history of the department, and I knew I needed an environment to polish my skills, because on TV, I knew when I heard all of those filler words I was giving over the airways, I knew that I needed help, and Toastmasters came into my life at the right time. Since I've been serving, I have served in a variety of leadership roles, from club officers to district level, starting with area director, and I have served throughout the ranks of the district trio to include district director 2016 and 2017, and I worked with my team, my leadership team, and my members to lead us to distinguished district, for which I am extremely proud. And what I'm doing today, I am gunning for the position of region advisor. So keeping my fingers crossed that I will have that opportunity to be appointed in this new term.
So what's a region advisor? Why would somebody want that role?
Yes, a region advisor is a leader who works with districts, with a variety of different districts, depending on what region that they're assigned to help them to achieve success, to also train and work with them in setting strategies toward district success, in addition to training them in leadership areas to include conflict management, to set up a strategic plan, working with them on budgets. It's really, at the end of the day, all about the members being successful and the leaders being successful in bringing about the success overall as communicators and leaders. And serving as a region advisor enables me to share what I've learned from my mentors and previous region advisors and share with them so they too can be successful as I was successful when I was in their role.
Wonderful. I would just want to double check. How are we doing on time? And are we almost at the 5-minute mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we're at 5 minutes?
Yeah, based on what the time is, yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Lois. I appreciate the help. All right. First of all, let's all just give a round of applause to Daryl. Thank you so much, Daryl, cheering for you and your continued journey in Toastmasters.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
All right. At this point, let's go ahead and double check. Are we welcoming our first evaluator? As a reminder, there will be 1 minute of silence between the contestants for the judges to mark off their ballots. Please do not talk during this time. Please do not chat during this time, and continue to keep your cameras off. Our first evaluator is here. Deepa, can you hear me? Deepa seems to have a muted microphone. Thank you. There you go.
Yes, yes. I was not able to mute myself. Can you unmute myself? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
And can you see the timer?
Yes, I see it. See her in the gallery. I can pin her, right?
Yes, you can pin her.
Yeah.
Okay. Deepa Venkat. Deepa Venkat.
Thank you, contest chair, and thank you everybody for being here today. What a great speech by Daryl Brown. Daryl, you talked about journey to taking charge of your own health, and we were all able to relate instantly. I will start with 3 things I loved about your speech, 2 things that you can improve, and finally I'll summarize for you. First thing, I'll go with this IVR. So first thing, interactive. I loved the way you grabbed the attention of the audience. By a great opening, you asked questions. Even though we are in a virtual format, it's not the typical Toastmasters where in person and people can answer. You still kept that attention with the audience. And we were all able to relate with your topic because we are going through a global health crisis with COVID. So instantly, all of us understood what we have to do. Second thing was the vocal variety. I loved the great diction you had. You even used your mother's voice when you wanted to kind of simulate the conversation with your mother. Your speech was very persuasive, and that comes a lot with the vocal variety you used. You used strong language. You were also very relaxed, and the entire time you talked directly to the audience by looking at the camera. Great eye contact. Great job there. And the third thing was relatable, the R. How relatable it was with great humor. You talked about all the typical things we all go through, doing our physical exams, going through the cholesterol test, the blood sugar, making sure our BMI, our fat levels, hydration is normal. So there were a lot of things that were really relatable, and you used great humor as well. You talked about how your cholesterol left you 23 years back, and then finally you came back to it. So we were all able to relate to your speech. 2 things that you can take the speech to the next level. One is you can try standing up instead of sitting down so that you can use better hand gestures. I was able to see a little bit of your hand gestures, but in order to take it to the next level, you can try standing up and use a little bit of stage movement just to emphasize your speech a little bit more. And the second thing was using a little bit more pauses. For example, when you talked about losing your weight or going back to normal levels, if you use pauses for emphasis, then it would make your speech a little bit more effective. Finally, to summarize, very interactive speech, great vocal variety, very relatable topic with great humor. Couple of things, try standing up and try delivering your speech to use better hand gestures, and try to use more pauses next time. But I would like to thank you for your service with the great call to action. Congrats on your journey, and you definitely look a lot younger than your age. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence. Shivani, can you see me? Shivani, please unmute yourself and turn on your camera. Can you see me? Somebody has to unmute her, please.
Cannot unmute. Okay. Yes. Yes, it's okay now.
He's unmuted.
Thank you. Shivani, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. Can you see the timer?
Timer A. Timer A, right?
Timer
Yes.
1, all in white.
No, I can't. Yes, now I can. Yes.
Okay, great. That is your timing device. Shivani Bhatia. Shivani Bhatia.
Okay. You kept your eyes on the goals and definitely you achieved it. No doubt you look way younger. Madam Contest Chair, my fellow Toastmasters, and my dear Daryl, thank you. I'm grateful to you for addressing us with this inspirational, motivational, and scintillating speech. Things that really stood out for me. You had a personal story. You injected emotions. First, I'm going to talk about your personal story. Your personal story immediately drew my attention because when you asked the very pertinent question about the results, have you ever got the high blood sugar results? I never faced that, thank God. But yes, what your story, I could relate to it. But because my husband, like 10 years ago, he suffered the same problem. So I could immediately connect to you. The second thing that really took me away, your key message. Your key message was completely in line with your content. Well done on that. I would like to give you my humble suggestions to take your speech to the next level. My dear Daryl, you talk about the pain you suffered, the journey of emotions you had. If at some point, I felt that you had a flat tone, you had so much emotions in your speech. Like when you said, for instance, when you were talking about my health ended in failure, I found frustrated. You had the same tone. If you had played with your vocal variety at that point, it could have added colors to your speech. It could have added your audience. It could have had more impact on the audience. The second thing, what I felt, you had a cheerful face when you were talking about your pain, when you were talking about my cholesterol level, you had the cheerful face. And the final thing, I would have loved it if you had given us what wrong habits or what wrong eating habits you had that led your cholesterol or blood sugar at this level. That would have added more value to me, to our listeners. Finally, to sum up, great speech, phenomenal delivery. You injected emotions through your personal story. Just work on the suggestions. I'm sure you'll touch great heights. Thank you. Madam Contest Chair.
Carol, you're muted.
We'll take a minute of silence. If you could turn off your camera, Shivani. next contestant, Annie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Carol.
And can you see the timer?
Yes, I can see the timer.
Wonderful. Timer, it's still red. Annie Bay. Annie Bay.
Presenting a speech with storytelling is like building a kingdom with a royal family living in it. The king is the content. The queen is the delivery. Fellow Toastmasters, honorable judges, our lovely contest chair, and especially you, our wise man today, Daryl. Thank you for teaching us a wonderful lesson. Everybody, let me be your guide to go back to his speech to take a closer look at this royal couple. The king, aka his content. He's so courageous to bring his vulnerability right in front of us. He showed us a lot of secrets that I wouldn't even tell, such as my age. And he's telling us a lesson, very important lesson with his own experience. Such a wonderful deed for every single one of us. And then let's take a look at the queen. The delivery of his speech is so elegant. I like the way he pays out the content so we can easily follow him step by step. I like he used pause to emphasis on some of the words. I like his vocal variety, saying his mom's word, well, you have to take care of your health. Absolutely love it. Now, let me give some suggestion on how to build more closer relationship between the king and the queen. First, let the numbers speak. You have so many wonderful numbers throughout your speech, Daryl. I think you can highlight your stories by using those numbers. Maybe started by looking at those horrible numbers on your report. Oh my God, that's a big alert. And on the way, people telling you, you look like a 63, but you are only 53. But with all the journey, you become more healthier, your number dropped to the normals, and you just look like a 23 at the end. And secondly, for the queen, let the body speak. We could only see you up to here. We couldn't see your hand gesture. Maybe your queen has a beautiful body language. Let it show. So my two suggestions is let the numbers speak in your content and let your body speak in your delivery. But I love your story, your personal experience. I love the pace that you conduct your stories to all of us. But what I like the most is the child, the prince of the king and the queen, which is the key message you give it to us. Have a plan, know your body, and take on your journey to care about your own health. I can relate that story because I started my journey. How about every one of you join us to take care of our health?
Thank you. 1 minute of silence. Roshan, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Carol.
Great.
I can
And
see
can
you
you see?
and I can hear you.
Wonderful. And can you see the timer?
I can see the timer,
Wonderful.
I'll just pin her. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I have now pinned the timer.
Roshan Nutu. Roshan Nutu.
Have you ever received a medical report which is going to be a cause of alarm for you? Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. What a pertinent question indeed from Toastmaster Brown. We say that health is wealth, and Toastmaster Brown has beautifully narrated the saying, health is wealth. Toastmaster Brown, what I like with your speech is your personal experience. You narrated your personal experience, your health issues with us. It takes courage to narrate such personal issues to an audience. I like that very much. Secondly, what I like with your speech is the calmness and the credibility of your speech. You looked very poised and your speech was very credible because you narrated a personal story. Toastmaster Brown, you could have elevated your speech with these two recommendations. Your speech was about your personal health issues. You could have been very emotional for some time. Emotional means you lower your voice and you feel depressed. You get your audience closer to you. As an adult, my mother had to tell me about my health. As an adult, couldn't have taken my health myself in hand. Secondly, I thought that throughout your speech, you have been very monotonous. Same speech, same tone, same pitch. You could have varied it to make it more powerful. Like when you say you lost weight, hurrah, I lost weight. It was working. The 51-day program was working. So that would have helped your audience get connected to you more. What I liked most about your speech, Toastmaster Brown, was you did not give up. One thing was not working, you tried another. The other thing was not working, you tried the 51-day program. You took your health in hand. To conclude, Toastmaster Brown, be careful about the emotion, about the monotonous tone. This will help you for the future. Personal experience, very poised, very good, and healthcare, very good. I look forward for your next speech. Over to you, Contest Chair.
Please turn off your camera and 1 minute of silence for our judges. Ilda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And can you see the timer?
Yes, I can. Baby.
Ilda Kulaba. Ilda Kulaba.
Mama knows best. Don't you hate it when that happens? That's the thought that came to mind when Daryl talked about his mother's warning words. Contest master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and especially you, Daryl. What I really loved about your speech was that you talked to us about a relatable theme and something that we've all gone through. At some point in our lives, we wanted to change something, and because of lack of motivation or tools, we were just unable to do so. Daryl, the pace of your speech was very, very good, exceptional. You allowed us to really listen to your words and carried us through your journey of better health. I love the voice variety between when you spoke about yourself and then you brought in the dialogue with your mother, but also there was excitement in your voice when you talked about the various your various successes throughout your journey. And that makes it powerful, and that makes us be engaged and also excited for you and for what you were able to achieve. And I think that when it came to your facial expressions, those were very good. You leaned in when you were talking about something serious to show us the seriousness of the topic. You were well framed in the camera, and that's always great. And as I said, you kept us engaged throughout your speech. There are a few things I would have loved to see more. You were sitting so close to the camera. At some point, I saw you shifting, but I couldn't really tell, were you just shifting or were you gesturing? I did see a bit of hands a few times, but it was a little bit difficult to see your hands. And I think that when giving a speech, give yourself enough space, even if you're sitting, to show us your hands, to give us a chance to see those gestures, especially during those very pivotal moments. And you had a lot of pivotal moments. And also, as you talked about your journey, your before and after, wouldn't it have been great of seeing this was before and now after, either through visual or through a picture? But overall, your story was inspirational. It was exemplary. And it's a journey that we all go through at some point in our lives. Contest master.
Please mute and turn off your camera, and we'll take 1 minute of silence. Valerie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And can you see the timer?
Let me make this bigger. It got small again. Yes, I can see the timer.
Wonderful. Valerie Bartley. Valerie Bartley.
Lights, camera, action! Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Daryl. You delivered an insightful and personal speech that was very well structured. I really like the way you use neutral, yet active and powerful language on this global stage. You have a couple of opportunities to enhance your presentation. What I heard was you moving a little slow as you delivered your presentation. I would encourage you to kind of step it up a little bit so that we can hear more of that vocal variety when you speak. The other thing that I would suggest is that as I heard you and as I saw you, I saw a man who was very serious and very controlled, which is great in many situations. But when it comes to speech delivery, you want to show a little bit of excitement, especially if it matches with your message. So what I would suggest here is that when you talk about this very personal journey of yours, of getting your body more healthy, that perhaps, yes, you tell us that it's a serious matter that you do need to address, but also tell us about the victory that you experienced at the end. So let's say this. You told us about the weight that you was when you started your journey, and you could certainly show us what that meant to you in your face and in your body language, but also tell us about the victory that you felt at the end when you were able to do various activities that maybe you couldn't do before. The other thing that I would suggest to you is using visual aids. A picture goes a long way. So one of the things that you could have done was showed us that book that you used or that article that you used, which is 51 Days Diet and Balance. Show us what that looks like. Maybe we want to read it. We want to know who the author is. So put that on a screen for us to see. The other thing, you might show us you exercising or the type of foods that you eat. Those type of things would enhance your presentation. In summary, I want to say to you that I love the personal story that was well structured. I also like the fact that you use neutral but powerful language. And I would suggest, as a challenge, to be more emotional in your speech. Show us that it's serious, but show us how you progress to the level of being victorious in your journey. And lastly, use visual aids. They can be very impactful in any presentation. Daryl, I loved your message today. I hope to hear you again in the future.
Valerie, if you could turn off your camera and mute you, that would be great. And 1 minute of silence.
I think I'm ready.
Andre, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Carol.
And can you see the timer?
Yes, Madam Contest Chair.
Andre Smolenko. Andre Smolenko.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and most importantly, Daryl. Don't we all want to live a happier, healthier life?
and I say, after listening and seeing your speech, I would say, yes, I do. And we all do. And my mom told me exactly the same thing. Andre, you should look after your own health. I was really mesmerized by the way you started with your question, don't we all want to live a healthy life? Then you told us a short story when we all can relate to, when we receive that report, that sad, emotional report that could change our life. Then you told us more about the way you felt, about your way you were unhappy with your life and things had to be changed. And then you use amazing, in my view, sense of humor, considering the situation that you were in. You brought your mom in. You compared yourself to being quite an old man and in a young man's body. Your hand gestures, your eye contact were amazing and mesmerizing. In my view, your speech was relatable to the Toastmasters audience and audience in general. We all want to live a healthy life. I could see that you were excited to tell us your story. I could hear a confident speaker who were emotional at the times and wanted to bring the message across. I could feel empowered and wanting to take action after your speech. There are few things, in my view, perhaps you could take into account. As they say, facts tell, stories sell. And at that time, when you discovered that you spent so much time looking for a solution in your life, and you said something happened, I would like to know what happened on that day. I would like to know how you felt, what people around you felt as well. The other thing your speech perhaps could make even better is tell us how your life-changing decision affected people around you, your wife, your children, your friends, and yourself. Those two things, in my view, would make your speech more empowering to other people and relatable. Overall, I can feel empowered. I can hear your clear message. Toastmasters, me, we all can take action right now. Don't need to wait for that report. We can make it happen. In conclusion, great sense of humor, eye contact, powerful emotions in your speech, taking into account few little twitches. Your speech got into my heart. Your speech got into all our hearts. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. Somebody has turned off my video. At this time, 1 minute of silence. Andre, if you could turn off your camera and your muting, that would be great. Okay, at this time, 1 minute is up and my camera is not working. It is not the fault of our co-host. Thank you, Zoom Masters. We'll figure it out in the meantime. Doris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great, and can you see the timer? Yes. Fantastic. Doris Tuckett. Doris Tuckett.
Contest chair and most welcome special speaker, Daryl Brown. Wow, what a message that you shared with us today. And it was so relatable to just about everyone. How many of you have put on some pandemic pounds? Some of you have been really good, but some of us have. So I love that you shared your personal story about learning about your body and what your body needs. It was so relatable to me. You just opened up your heart, and I could see so much compassion that you have for yourself as well as for your audience. You really gave from your heart. I really loved when you shared your mother's voice. That was hysterical. I loved it, and I could almost see your mother. I would have liked if you would have raised your hands and maybe added a few hand gestures when you're talking about your mother and how she cared and loves you so much that she reminded you to take good care of yourself. I loved your laugh. It was so genuine, and I could feel it was one of those gut laughs that somebody else wanted to laugh along with you. I really enjoyed that you gave us a strategy. It was a lighthearted speech, but it was also a bit serious, and it gave us real serious lessons about being relatable to our bodies, and also seeking out medical help if we need it, that there are resources out there for us. Thank you so much for sharing that. I liked your facial gestures. They were quite good. And I would have liked maybe a few more of them, that you kind of looked to the side a little bit more and maybe arched your eye a little bit more. That was so effective. One of my favorite things about your speech is you really asked us to take control of our health, to really be in tune with our bodies and listen to our bodies. I love that. That you had a real balance to your speech. That was so effective. Great pauses, and your use of language was so easy to listen to, and it was something that was thoughtful. And I could tell that you spent a lot of time on this presentation to make sure that you gave what we needed, and we received that gift. Thank you so much. I love that you shared your life, and I appreciated everything you did. Thank you so much, and keep on sharing the story. It is so important for everyone to hear. Contest chair.
Thank you. If you could turn off your video, it looks like it's already off, and your microphone. 1 minute of silence, waiting for the next contestant and the judges. Doris, can you hear me? Doris, can you hear me?
Carol, I think you're on number 9. Andrew?
My apologies. Andrew, can you hear me?
Contest Chair Carol, yes, I can hear you nice and clearly.
Wonderful. Can you see the timer?
I can see the timer.
Andrew Bennett. Andrew Bennett.
It started on a Tuesday, the 51 days that made Daryl's transformation. And straight away, I am with him in this story. I, speaking as someone who's survived major illness and accident and done a weight loss, I empathize with this story, as many of you in the audience must do too. I was really delighted that Daryl brought some humour into the early part of his speech. Which one of us hasn't had a mum, an aunt, a grandma who says, you really should take better care of yourself? That was delightful. What I'd like to do now with us all together is we are going to open the treasure chest of the speaker's riches, and we are going to give to Daryl some recommendations to help him progress as a speaker. My first recommendation today is that in Daryl, we have a very poised speaker on screen. But this is a transformation speech, and all I can see are Daryl's head and shoulders. I would like to see the whole of this transformed man today. So I would like Daryl, when he takes this speech next time, to give it the speech standing up. We want to see that transformed man on the screen today. Next recommendation connects in with the first one because it's about energy and voice. Now, when we are listing, for instance, we had a list of body mass index, visceral fat. When we're listing, our vocal variety tends to dry up. So that doesn't happen and that we maintain pitch and modulation of pace, let's keep the energy going through our body, through our breath, and through our thoughts. Our voices respond to the intention of our thoughts. And a very special third recommendation today was that I felt the speech had a double conclusion. I would like Daryl, when he sets out, as he does, to give us a call to action for us to take our health into control, I would like Darren to pursue it right through to the end without looking back over his shoulder at past elements of his speech, but to go through with that call to action. So we have higher visibility on screen. We have energy through the body and breath to keep the vocal variety nice and buoyant. And we have that single conclusion, the treasure chest riches for Daryl today in his speech. And we will send him forward, for he has accomplished a remarkable transformation in those 51 days. We send him forward with excitement on his journey as a motivational speaker. Contest chair.
Thank you. Please turn off your camera and mute yourself. 1 minute of silence. Lou, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you see the timer?
I can.
Lou Brown, Lou Brown.
Thank you, Madam Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters dignitaries, guests, and especially Toastmaster Daryl Brown. Thank you so much for taking us on such an emotional journey. And I will say, my friend, I share a lot more in common with you than just our last name, because I myself went through a similar weight loss experience in exactly the same way as you did, where other programs didn't work for me. I got that news from my doctor. I lost 45 pounds as well. So I was like, holy cow, this guy is speaking directly to me. This is incredible. His story is my story. I was right there with you when you got that news from your doctor. both literally in terms of, well, not literally, of course, because I wasn't there literally, but figuratively, because it took me back to when I was getting similar news from my doctor. So again, thank you for such an emotional speech. It really resonated with me. Let me share with you some of the things that I really loved about your speech. First of all, your framing. Perfect. You were front and center, right in the middle of the frame. Very important for a virtual speech, as I'm sure you know. First impressions mean a lot. You have a beautiful smile, pearly whites. I am glad that you showed them off right from the get-go when you were announced. Awesome first impression. Now, what would video be, or what would a presentation be without audio to supplement the video? Vocal variety was excellent. Great pace, very clear enunciation of words. I'm starting to go a little deaf, so I really appreciated the fact that I was able to follow along with you each and every word, each and every expression, each and every emotion. It was wonderful. Excellent eye contact, by the way, too. As a story, I don't think you necessarily needed notes, but if you did, I didn't notice it. And well-placed facial expressions as well. I loved a little bit of humor that you threw in when you talked about your mom, and you did it in your mom's voice. And as we know, mothers are always right. A few things that I would like you to perhaps think about to take your speech from great to superb. First, you were sitting. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if you were standing, that would allow you to do a little bit more in terms of body movement, gestures, because as I'm sure you know, sitting kind of restricts ourselves in that way. Plus, it would give you an opportunity to show off your new rockin' bod. I'm sure we'd love to see it. I normally don't comment on content, but I am a little curious. The 51-day plan, why 51? Why not 50? Why not 55? You did share a little bit of how that plan worked, but I think just for me personally, I would have liked to have heard why 51. Also, excellent call to action at the end of your speech. It was a perfect bookend. You shared with us why you started your journey, and you ended with asking us to also be cognizant of the fact that we should be looking out for our physical health as well. Wonderful way, again, to have a bookend to your speech. Thank you for an amazing speech, an incredible journey, and a very happy ending. I, as well as I'm sure everyone at this webinar, are happy for you. Madam Contest Master.
Please turn off your video and mute your phone, your microphone. 1 minute of silence. Christian, can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you see the timer?
Yes, madam.
Christian Ramturn. Christian Ramturn.
Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wanted to take charge of your life? I don't know about you, but when I heard the speech of Darrell Brown, I know I did. Darrell, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your message. Thank you for helping me change my life. Ladies and gentlemen, as Darrell started, he did a few things very nicely. He not only had a clear structure with a clear introduction, that went a bit long, but it didn't get me disconnected from the body, a body with 3 points and a clear call to action with a close. And as Darrell was speaking, I could understand every single word from start to finish. Darrell used clear pace of delivery, and his speech was powerful enough for me to understand the message. And as Darrell went along, He did something very nicely. He was looking at me like I'm looking at you right now. I felt connected. Daryl, thank you for doing that. Now, I am so pleased with this speech today that I want to share not one, but 3 little gifts to Daryl. Ladies and gentlemen, gift number 1 for Daryl is the following. The amount of information that you share, Daryl, although it has been very valuable, it was a bit too much because from my perspective, you ended in the red with your close. If you had more time with the close, it really would have left me a more impact, it would have been more impactful. My recommendation is cut down the number of words, the sentences, the information that are not really important in your points in the main body. For example, as you were sharing what you were doing after the reports, there were 4 items. I listed 4 items. You could have just mentioned the BMI index and that's it. My second gift to you, Daryl, is the hands. You were there poised, magnificent, and sharing your message. But if only I could see your hands, and if only you could have used a prop, for example, a prop showing me the report the doctor shared with you, even that book, that program, the 51 Day, that would have really connected me to your message, heart to heart. And my third gift to you, Daryl, is the tone of voice. All the other elements of your vocal presence were good enough, but had the emotions been there? For example, when you were talking from your mother's perspective, Daryl, are you serious? That emotion for me was missing. When you were sharing the bad news that you received, the emotions were not there. So Daryl, consider putting the tone of voice in there. Having said all of that, Daryl, the best thing that I take away from your message is the story, how you shared your life, how by telling me what you did from start to finish, being specific and really hitting it home for me. That was amazing. So practice what you're already doing good, work on the tone of voice, work on the hand gestures, look at the amount of information. I think your next speech is going to be amazing.
Would turn off your camera and mute yourself. 1 minute of silence for the judges.
Judges are gone now. You may proceed.
I still see judge. There you go. All right. Still saw one of the judges in the room. Can we show ourselves and turn on our mics and just rock that roof off the house? Woohoo! Yeah! Let's give a hand out to all of our contestants and our test speaker on the hot seat. Woohoo! Yeah, fantastic. I loved it. I especially appreciate hearing such diverse responses to almost just to the same speech. I mean, Such diverse responses. It was fabulous. Who are the winners? Who are the winners? Well, guess what? I had to change things up a little bit. The most recent contest, we're going to wait an hour to get the nominations or the find out who won. But we're ready to announce the winners of this contest. Are you excited? Is that a yes? Yay!
Yes.
Or blow the roof off again. Blow the roof off. All right. So I'm going to first announce that there are no disqualifications. Ah, yay. Congratulations. And now we're ready for, guess what? Third place winner. Third place winner is Annie Bye. Annie Bye. Congratulations, Annie. Wonderful job. You ready for our second place winner? Is it you? Is it you? All right, second place winner, Andrew Bennett. Congratulations, Andrew. And drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da. Number one, Christian Remchern. Yay, Christian. I'd like to congratulate all of the contestants for a job well done. Again, I'll thank the judges and the helpers behind the scene.